Hello and welcome to Up Dog Sports Talk. We are here with a special edition of the show today. If you may have noticed, we did not go live, but this episode is out the day after we normally go live. We are here today with a special guest to talk about really something that could be a really hidden advantage for college football programs. I think especially you see around marketing is a very important aspect for college football. And you're marketing to players, you're marketing to your fans, all of that. And what you wear on game days, your helmets are a big part of that. So we are joined by our special guest, Chaz Locke of GameDay Skinz. Introduce yourself, Chaz.
Yep. Howdy, everybody. The name's Chaz Locke. I'm with GameDay Skinz. I'm a senior territory manager for Texas, but also cover Arkansas and Louisiana and just wherever we can get business at. And like we were saying, is that you spend so much money in marketing and investment in building a brand and trying to do cool and unique things. These things cost an absolute butt ton of money. And what Skins has turned into and provided is a product that makes it look like you have three or four different helmets, where the cost of it is 80% less than having to get a second, third, or fourth helmet. So all these crazy ideas, even the wildest ones. I know Oregon's going to do a Grateful Dead helmet. How much is that
Mm.
going to cost them? Oh, y'all haven't seen that yet? Yeah, yeah. They're a Grateful Dead themed uniform. So yeah,
Interesting.
I live in the same world. I love this stuff. So I know they teased it, but they're going to do a Grateful Dead theme. But let's do breast cancer awareness. Everybody would love to wear a pink helmet. The pink decals and stuff is really cool. It's really unique. We love that. It's a great homage to that. How many guys and coaches and programs would love to wear a pink helmet, but you only wear it for one game or 1 month and you invest $40,000 into it? Where that's where Skins comes in. This is a 3D scan of each helmet and each type. This is for a Riddell Speedflex, and we currently have this painted gold chrome. But we can do any color, any finish. So simply what you do is you take off the face mask and the chin strap of the helmet that you're wearing. I've got somewhat of a dummy sample like this, and then you slide this over it, just as simple as that. Screw it on, and then within 5 to 10 minutes per helmet, you've got a whole new look for way less of the cost. Wear them for 3 or 4 games and then take them off. I think we hit the 1,000 mark for high school programs in the last year. So there's nationwide over 1,000 high schools that are wearing the product, and that does include teams that have bought in multiple sets. And then also at the collegiate level, we're at the 20 plus mark. So let's just say NCAA total from D1 FCS all the way down to D3 NAIA. It's a phenomenal product. It's awesome. We buy the paint from the same suppliers that Shutt and Riddell do. So whatever cool color you see, we can do it. Also, on top of that, if you want a cool, unique color or something that we have a lot of guys go, well, our orange is our orange, and you go, it's Nike orange. Yeah, yeah, no, I really, really do appreciate that, and I know that you're so and so high school, and you think that your orange is more pertinent than the Bengals orange. But yeah, coach, sure, we can color match it and get that exact thing. What's so great about this is I came from a small rural town of 2,300 people. I played 3A football with I think we carried 32, and we wore one helmet, one color forever. How cool would it be to provide to a smaller community like that? Hey, here's $2,300, $3,200, and your kids can have a red helmet. And these last 10 to 15 games. So by the time you wear them for 4 games, 5 games a year, you get 3 or 4 seasons out of them. And then
Yeah.
within 4 or 5 seasons, you're going, how does Joe Blow High School down the street have 6 different helmet looks? Well, coach sits there and saves, $2,000 every season and gets another set of skins. And then they're rolling out all these different uniforms and combinations and stuff. And that's at the high school level. You magnify that at the collegiate level with NIL and equipment budgets and all that stuff now, because I believe a lot of those programs are starting to move money around like that to help provide for NIL. So why, Texas Tech, that's the big talk right now of all the buku bucks that they've spent. They're doing it the right way. I'm a Texas guy, so any good thing for Texas anywhere I'll root for, as long as we're not playing each other. Um, why would a program like that not want to save hundreds of thousands of dollars? And it's such a simple product of just taking it on and off. These equipment staffs are unreal. It's not for a lack of manpower. It's just simply getting this product idea out. And just like you two gentlemen saw it, 30 minutes ago when we were talking, you see it and you see me kind of demo it and you go, oh, that is perfect. That's exactly like such a great product. When I pitch it over the phone, nobody's looking and I go, it's a cell phone cover, but for your helmets. You kind of go, all right, yeah. And then I show you a video or show you in person, and he goes, all right, yep. How do I get it? How much? When and where? And they're $55 to $100 per, and that depends on the finish and then the amount. So your team pricing, obviously, if you're going to get the minimum, like, hey, I want one gold chrome, I'm gonna have to charge you $100 for it. But for teams that are ordering 100 of them, that takes it all the way down to $84. Or if they
Ooh.
do a white gloss or a white matte, which is our two most popular colors, if you guys want to guess, you want to take a guess? Two most popular colors.
I think you hinted it there. White gloss and white matte.
Yeah, white gloss and black matte. Like people eat that up. So it's such a funny turn of, when we were growing up playing ball, we all had white helmets and we begged for an alternative colors. And so now that the tide has switched, where you're seeing a lot of whiteouts and blackouts, and one that, Northern State University in Aberdeen, South Dakota is wearing, they've got two sets. I can't tell you what the other color is, but right now they've got a white one. They've got a white one, and they're going. They did all white for their away game, and then they played home last weekend, and they went white, maroon, white. So I'm seeing a lot of programs start to go with that look, the white, maroon, white, or whatever. Your white, your solid, and your white pants is just such a clean, classic look, and it provides something that you can wear on the road at home. And then, yeah, black matte. Everybody loves black matte.
It's clean.
Just yeah, it's clean, it's classic. It's the dark mode and whatnot. Yeah, ULM has that is a black matte.
Yeah, that thing right there. That, I mean, it looks so simple, but look at that. Look at that. That's the thing of beauty. And when you see these teams take the field, like, it doesn't look any different at all compared to what someone that's paying more money. And like for ULM, like, this is a huge. They have really tried to do a lot to up their swag, to really get themselves being able to compete in against the rest of the Sun Belt with a very low budget. This is a perfect solution for ULM.
Yeah, I believe it was. Is it Florida? Which one's the Panthers? Florida. It'll no Florida
Florida Inter-
International.
Florida International Vice Night right here.
Yes. Yeah, so that's our skins on their helmet. I believe there was a video of she's with the Bears now as an assistant equipment manager. I believe her first name's Carla, but I don't recall what her last name was. She was the equipment manager at FIU, and she does a whole video of how to install one. Really simple, really easy. Face mask, chin strap, take it off, put it on, decal it, put the screws and latches back on, and you're good to go. Florida International, Florida Atlantic did their all blacks last year. Those are skins. Fresno State, all black uniforms. Those are skins. San Jose State has two sets, the gold ones, and then the black ones are us. Yeah, that's just a great look. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so it's fun to be able to get on NCAA and do a couple clicks, and you get to see something that you were a part of, and like, oh wow, like we're talking about starting up a dynasty league with my buddies, and we're all going like, well, what conference or what team do this? And I said, hey, how about we just do all team, like you can only pick a team that's wearing skins.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it.
and that's like 12 teams. Like, hey, that's enough to go around for everybody.
Yeah,
Louisiana
yeah.
Tech has the blue ones.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, which D1 teams are currently using Game Day Skins?
Um, yeah, so San Jose State, Fresno State, Louisiana Tech, Louisiana Lafayette, Louisiana Monroe is going to roll out two sets. Florida Atlantic, Florida International. The Lamar one is a real popular one. I mean,
That one's
that's still D1. I love beautiful, beautiful.
This
Nasty.
this thing,
Nasty.
man, what
Red
a thing
chrome.
of beauty this is. This is just. I think this is actually what got us talking was about this one. And man, I mean, this is a fantastic rollout for Lamar. And you guys made it possible for them to for them to do this for the first time since I think it was 1989 was the last time they got to do red.
Yes, and I guarantee you it wasn't that kind of red, Yeah, that red chrome is, the chrome colors and how we do chrome is such a different process. I can't, tell everybody how the sausage is made per se, but our process and what we do to put the chrome onto a skin is a different, it just comes out better. It doesn't chip and flake as much. There's some bro science behind it. I really don't necessarily know all of it, but for it not to be a hard shell makes the paint last a lot longer. A lot of those programs, TCU and um, is it Western Kentucky Hilltoppers? Like they haven't
Yeah,
brought back their silver chrome because it costs so much for them to get a single silver chrome helmet. I mean, they're a new helmet by itself, let's say a nice one, a collegiate level, professional level, 750, $1,500, and then you've got to add chrome paint to it. And the investment that it takes is so much. Whereas you could come to us and go, all right, I need 100 silver chromes with some decals. It's going to be probably $90 per head. So it's $9,000, $10,000. And if you need to buy one or two the next season, you just roll over that price. I mean, it's it's going to be crazy when this takes off, and I do believe in 4 to 5 years you'll see majority of every program wearing them. It's too simple, it's too easy to say no to.
And with the money that these programs pump into their athletics, it's a drop in a bucket for them. And if you can get the crowd going, if you can get people, really talking about the uniform, that feeds into the how they perform on the field.
Yeah,
yeah,
and nobody. I
absolutely.
mean, nobody's wearing their regular colors anymore. I mean, you still got your standards, but like we spoke of, is a pink helmet. Nobody wants to invest in a pink helmet, but we can make that happen. And we can do it in all different types of finishes too. You want a gloss, a matte, you want to do metallic with a green flake or a silver flake, or we haven't had one yet. But if anybody wants to reach out to us after this and get a pink chrome, let us know because we want to sell a pink chrome skins. I mean, why wouldn't you? You know?
Is that on the bingo board? Pink chrome?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Like that's everybody
Oh
drops it
man.
in the group chat. Like, hey, guess who got the first pink chrome skins? And then we run up the ladder and
Yep.
we tell the big boss, hey, Johnny got a pink chrome, so he'll get an extra one as a sample. Like, hey, like add one extra to the list and make sure he gets to his house. So that's it's like collecting helmets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Oh,
that's great.
that's awesome. Well, personally, for you, like, what is one of your favorite helmet projects so far? Maybe your exact favorite, or you can name like two or three.
Um, you know, One of my favorite ones is we worked with North Crowley last year, and they ended up being the number three team in the nation last year. And I have some personal ties to those coaches there with, Demarcus Harris and Ray Gates. I love those guys to death. I knew them as assistants, and when I was cutting my teeth in the sporting goods world 5 or 6 years ago, and they did a really cool one. They're in Fort Worth, and we did a white one and it has the city outline on the skyline on the side, and then we did like a silver chrome reflective on the bottom. I believe Coach Eli Reinhardt, who's the head guy at Hutto now, the Hutto Hippos, um, we did it and it was cool. Just a classic, like white, black with the silver reflective on it. They broke them out senior night, and that's a fun one personally. The Lamar one, the swag factor on that is just awesome. We did the decals, we did the bumpers, we did the skins on it. We went back and forth with the equipment manager, Lucas Dollinger, and just, like, what are we going to do to make this look cool and then clean at the same time? And, you know, when this process of doing it, you want to go, okay, do we put red, do we color the red in on the cardinal? No, no, no. Let's make it clear so the red chrome comes through and then the white gloss, and that's such a fun thing. So that one, and then golly, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple in El Paso. Like those El Paso high schools out there are doing it big time. They've got big, bright, vibrant colors, and they want the helmets to match it. Um, I've got a program that has a silver chrome helmet, and then they also have it's some crazy like Titans blue blaze, blah 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 blah.
Ooh, that's
But
really nice.
long story short, it's more or less Carolina blue satin. So depending on how the sun hits it, it sometimes shows gloss and sometimes shows matte. It's just really cool what we can do, and we really opened up our playbook this year. Last year it was very, hey, we're going to sell. We had access to other colors, but it was more or less, let's get our feet wet, let's understand what we're doing here. Hey, gloss, matte, metallic, and your basic team colors. And then this year I requested, hey, let's, give me access to the catalog. I want to sell cool stuff, because that's the benefit of it now where we're at is, all right, everybody's got red gloss now. How about, coach, I come to do red gloss, blah, 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 1278, and it's the Houston Texans battle red. Oh, that's cool. Or, hey, you see what U of H is wearing? That red candy coat, candy apple red. Yep, I love that. You want that? All right, I can do it. Here's the same look for 80% less of the cost. A little elbow grease goes a long way, and then they look great. Yeah, so those are a couple of my personal ones, and not to be Tom Brady-ish, but my favorite one's the next one. Um,
Oh, I
there's
love that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's true though. I really am invested in each and individual programs. I try to offer my services. I've got a coach that's texting me right before we got on of, hey man, once these get here, can you swing by and help us install? Like, show me how to do a couple. And that's my service to give back. I don't drive a yellow dog. I don't sit out there and deal with bad kids and upset parents. And well, I don't understand why little Johnny's not playing quarterback. And it's like, well, little Johnny has no arms, like that's just kind of is what it is. People don't get it. They really do. Coaches in particular go hard out of their way and help provide so much. So the least I can do is go install a couple of helmets and show them how to do it right, especially when I've already made money off of it. Um, but
Absolutely.
like here's I can't say, once again, not going to say what it is, but Sacramento State ordered a set for me today.
I can't wait to see what they're cooking up because again, like you guys, it seems like there's no limitation of what you guys can do. You guys can pretty much do any design. And I know Sacramento State, they're one of those teams that's really trying to mix it up right now, get their name out there as much as possible. And I like this. I like that they looked and saw and you were like, hey, we don't have to spend a lot of money on this. We got all this NIL money. We want to keep it to NIL and not on our helmets, but we also want to look good. So very
Yeah, I
excited for
mean,
that one.
we think, or I say we, let's just say I think sooner or later we're going to see this at the NFL level. It won't be as prevalent as a whole team, but you get a guy that wants to wear one helmet. I want to wear one helmet throughout the whole, let's just say Mike Evans, because Tampa Bay is a good example. Big Mike wants to wear one helmet. I've broken in this helmet during, spring training and fall camp. I don't want to, I love the Dreamsicles. They're awesome. That's my favorite ice cream flavor too. So it just
Yeah.
kind of pairs up. But like, I want to wear one helmet. I don't want to break in another full set of pads or have to switch back and forth. Some guys are like that. So okay, cool. Here's a white gloss skin. Here's the decals that go along with it, and it just goes over that pewter helmet. And nobody, from the untrained eye, from 5 feet away, you have no idea. So why not do it for that? And it's just for a comfortability thing and it's aesthetics, but I could see it getting to that level too, where guys go, I just want to wear one helmet. Quit switching me in and out. This goes over it. It covers the vent holes are open. It doesn't. It's super lightweight. I mean, I don't even want to know how much it weighs. I mean, and I mean, I can crumple this thing up like this, fold it up like a sandwich, and then it comes right back. It's nuts.
Yeah,
It's just one of those craziest things that you don't until you see it. You go, ah, that's a cool idea. It's a great concept, and then it comes into this, and that's how it started. Was our CEO was a quarterback at SMU. He played at SMU for I think a couple years, and it's when they brought out some red chromes, and he just happened to be in the equipment room or something like that. I don't know the story exactly, but to the lines of how much are those? How much are we paying as a university to just wear these for a couple games? There has to be a better solution. There has to be something, and he's very entrepreneurial, and his mind just started running with it and it first started off as a vinyl wrap, like Waterboy graphics or something that you see with a lot of school programs and marketing and all that stuff. So it used to be a permanent vinyl wrap, and you can look and see 10, 8 years ago where these programs were doing carbon fiber and all that cool stuff. Well, that's great and dandy, But part of the problem is once you shrink wrap that onto that helmet, it's done for. You're getting carbon fiber for the rest of the life of that helmet. And then also there's chemical changes and people talk about warranties and all that type of stuff, which is true. I mean, you're adding heat and a chemical reaction to it. Not good. And then it went, I don't know how long that lasted, and then it went to a two shell look. If you look, you can see just a thin little line over the center of the helmet, right? It's nothing too crazy. But it used to be you'd put half of it on here, half of it on here, and then you'd have to buy a decal stripe to put a stripe over it, hold it together. Which, okay, cool, right? We're getting there. And I believe in the last 3 to 4 years, we've come out to this version of the 3.0. One full shell, 3D scans of each helmet, each type and size. We're still, the helmet industry's changing day by day. So we've got majority of the market for most of them, and it is a skin tight fit. I mean, a medium fits a medium, a large fits a large. They're not going to swap or change. And it's just been such a great solution to provide for everybody. And it's just going to keep growing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just this offseason, we saw I believe it was Mid Ten State. They decided to scale back on what their alternate uniforms were. They decided, we're going to stick to our other stuff because we've got to keep our money for the NIL pool. And if you can give teams that little bit of both, like that's another hidden advantage that you can find. That you are saving that money for NIL to help with your roster, and at the same time, you're also attracting interest from your players and your fans because you're looking good out there in the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're able to provide the same looks and effects, and even more looks and effects for way less of the cost. I mean, that order that we talked about for ULM, for 100, they bought two sets, 125, and then they got all three sets of decals from us too. So their shark mouth and all that stuff on their original helmet, they got from us too for their decals. All that in together is $20,000. So for three different looks, you're at 20 grand. Whereas three different looks for three different sets of helmets is probably six figures. That's one kid. That's one kid. You had a good NIL program. I think some of the lower ones are, in the, five figures and whatnot. But if you get $100,000 kid at Lamar or SFA or, Southeastern State University or, something like that, that's a big change. That's, like
Yeah.
when that Brett or Rhett Bomar went from Oklahoma to Sam Houston, 10, 15 years ago, he was balling out. I mean, that's the type of impact that you can have. And then the same thing at the higher levels is, you're saving money. I mean, why not have one helmet and we can still give you all these looks now? You're not having to pay all the extra reconditioning. You got to think about that is every time you buy a new helmet, it has to be reconditioned every 2 years for it to be certifiable. So when you have five different helmet looks, you've got five different things of reconditioning. That's 500, 600 helmets. Whereas you can have one set of helmets, six sets of skins, and you only recondition 100 helmets. I'm saving you money right there. It's awesome. I love it. I hope you can feel the passion through the phone. I'm ready to jump through and sell right away. I'm
Yeah.
always selling. It's was it the goods, live hard, sell hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, like it kind of goes into like the whole. I think it was a Deion Sanders thing. It was like look good, play good, all that kind of stuff.
All,
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I
no,
just
you're
get
good.
excited, but we the tagline skins and wins. At first, I'm catching on the back end of it, but my boss used to say, "Hey, like the winning rate for teams that break out skins is really high. Like it's in the 90s, like mid 90s. Like these teams break out of skins, they're winning. But now the market's starting to get a little bit more saturated, where skins and wins in the pocketbook. Um, and that's a good thing or a bad thing. I've seen a couple teams last weekend that broke out some skins and got their teeth kicked in like 33-3 and stuff. And you're like, oh
You hate to
man,
see it.
like, yeah, and you're like, hey coach, like appreciate it, man. Like looks really good. Get them next week. Are you wearing them next week? And they're like, hell no, we're not wearing them next week. I
These are
haven't got my.
cursed.
Yeah, they're cursed. They're cursed. never wearing them again. Like these are bad juju, and the kids are like, "Oh, we want to wear them again," and the coach's like, "No, absolutely not. Like my job's on the line here, and if we break out these whites again, I'm gonna be, I won't get off the bus. But that's fun. But for the most part, these guys love them. I mean, there's Denton Geyer, another big Texas high school football program, has two sets. They have never changed their helmets at all. They've always worn black top, black pant, white, or white and silver pants, and they've had a silver helmet. And then last year they did a black matte and then a white gloss, and they look phenomenal. And nobody batted an eye. Nobody, nobody in the stands or in the community got upset, because you're doing the right thing. You're doing it for the kids, and as long as it's all tasteful, it's fun and it's cost effective, and you're not spending tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I had one coach in Corpus Christi, which is coastal area Texas, a little bit further on south from Houston, about 3.5 hours. He got pulled into an emergency school board meeting because the school board thought that he was like being irresponsible with funds because he bought two new sets of helmets and didn't get it approved. So he called me, laughing and giggling after the fact, but he had to walk in there kind of like I've shown and go, "All right, this is our regular helmet. This is a Skins. It goes like this." And they're like, "Oh," and there you go. Problem solved. Well, when can we get a black set? That it turns that fast. So, oh, that's what that is. You've got a maroon and a white. Oh, let's get a black one. Oh, let's get a gold chrome next year. How fast can you get them and stuff like that? And we move these in 4 to 6 weeks when things are going good. So it's still what's crazy about uniforms in particular is that it's a season, almost 2 seasons ahead of a sell. A lot of these programs, as soon as probably Thanksgiving rolls around, your wholesale, your sporting goods reps and your dealers will be pushing, "Hey, this is what the uniform is going to be for next year." And those
Mm.
coaches are already buying it and they're getting their money ready. And January 1 hits and they've already purchased their uniforms for the fall. Whereas Skins, we would love for everybody to order early. That helps all of us. But if a coach called me right now and said, "Hey, I need some white gloss or black mats in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're 4-0 or 3-1, and we got a hot streak going. And I want to take care of these kids. Let's do something cool. Like, can you do that for me in season?" We're still doing that, and that's powerful within itself as a company, and then as a team perspective is cost effective. It's that triangle: good, cheap, and fast. You usually don't get all three of them. You got to pick two, but we're really down, in the center of that, of like, it's a good product, we can get it to you fast, and I don't want to use the word cheap too much, but it's cost effective. It's fun. I love it, and I definitely need to get you guys some once we get off, and you can slap one on a dummy helmet or something. There's kids on Facebook that quit football every day and selling their brand new Speed Flex helmet for $100. You're like, gotcha. Just like that one. That's exactly what happened. The kid had quit and he had a beat up helmet, and I was like, "I'll give you $100 cash." "Okay, cool. Thank you." And he went and got, he probably went and got NCAA 26 because I've had it for 2 months now. So he did the same thing I would have as a, 13, 14-year-old kid. Well, I'm going to go buy new Xbox games.
Naturally, of course. But yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool to see how this evolves too. Like you're opening up so much flexibility for teams to innovate their uniforms throughout the year, not just like you said. Like I didn't even realize they had to do it that early. So like they're these a lot of the uniforms designs we've seen previously are stuff that had to be planned out so far in advance. Now you're taking that and accelerating what they could do planning wise. And I'm definitely excited to see the innovation that's going to bring. I could already tell that Sacramento State took advantage of that, and I'm excited to see who else will.
Yeah, just anybody is fair game. I mean, there's no reason not to work with us or figure something out, or how can we partner up and make this the best for everybody, because it's beneficial all the way around. NAI, I mean NAIA, Division Three, FCS, FBS, high school, 6 man. I mean, I don't know what y'all. I mean, I know Texas has 6 man, but I know there's some other states that have 8 man and 9 man and 4 man, whatever. But It's just awesome. It's fun. It's fun to be able to give back in the right way. We all got to make money, but in the same place is, this is so impactful that you can't put a price on it, for what we're doing. Lots of schools in Texas. I mean, Texas is kind of the big market for anybody, for sporting goods specifically, and specifically football. I mean, I think we have multiple teams wearing skins in almost every metropolitan area, maybe besides Rio Grande Valley, which is way down there at the bottom tip. But West Texas A&M is going to wear some pretty soon. Like there's another one. I've had conversations with UTEP. I mean, they're super interested, but it's one of those things that you don't think about. It's like, hey, we would like to get this color, but we need to make sure that our uniform provider can get them there in time too. And they said, well, unfortunately, they couldn't turn them quick enough for us to have them for a Halloween game. So you can guess a theme there. But it next year, so like next year, it's going to happen, and then those guys at ULM are playing UTEP this weekend, so they're going to go talk to them and word of mouth of like, hey, here's one of our black mats, and here's our other color, and here's this and that, and it's on TV and it's on NCAA, and it's a trickle down and trickle up effect for us, luckily. And it's just growing like crazy. We've got representation in Indianapolis. We have a guy that's driving around and calling and regionally. We've got me in Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana. We've got our actual decal facility where we do all the decals and stickers and stuff is in Oklahoma City. We're not third party. We're not getting it from another competitor and then selling it out that way. Like if you called his name, Anthony, shout out Anthony because he is busting his tail for all of us. All those decals are just a one man show that he's pumping out a
Wow.
lot. Oh yeah, no, he's doing the artwork, he's doing the art proof, he's doing the printing, the laminating, the shipping, all that stuff. Absolutely busting his tail for it right now. I keep asking him for, like one of those cameras with the high speed because he's, just, he's got 3 or 4 machines and he's just all over the place. So shout out to him, and the decal work that he does, and it really high quality product. He's done a lot of research on his end to make sure they almost look painted on. I don't know once again how he does it, but I do know and I do believe that our decals are the best product. You can look and see the difference of sometimes they're a little bit thicker, a little bit gunkier, where ours almost look svelte, like it's part of the helmet. It's painted on, it's smooth, but still
Right.
lasts. Yeah, I mean you can't tell that that's a decal.
No,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
it
This
it it looks painted on. Justin, pull up that the Western Michigan one.
Yeah, so
Anthony was
so
cooking on this. This is
yes,
this is sick looking.
all the decals that Western Michigan has done in the last 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer than that, have all been through GameDay Skins and Anthony's previous company, Proline Designs. That was his customer. He still takes really good care of those guys, all of them. Like when they did the just the general cancer awareness one with all the different colors and whatnot, Anthony did all that.
hmm,
All the decals for
that's
Louisiana
awesome.
Tech, he did all of that. Yeah, it's fun. That's another part of the process that is entertaining. Is all right. So we know you're going to get a red chrome. We know you're going to get a blue or a black or something. That's what do we want to put on it? Do we want to do scripts coming back? Everybody wants to do script. Script font, and then okay, well it's a black matte with script font. Do we want to do a chrome? Do we want to do a gloss? Like how much do you want it to pop out and stand up? There's another one. You don't. There wouldn't be a good picture of it, but Seguin High School in the Austin area, San Antonio area, they did their area code on the side of a black skin, and it's 830. And then inside of the logo, we did a ghost print because it's a real specific S with like 2 sabers underneath it. So if you look really close inside the gold chrome, there's the S logo printed all through it, and it's fun. I really love that aspect of it, of getting in and designing and looking at that. And when I watch games, tonight, tomorrow, I mean, it's just that it's the best time of year. There's football on every day. I'm looking at
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
I'm looking at your bumpers. I'm looking at the colors. I'm looking at the face mask. It's just kind of ingratiated in my system now, where I live, eat, and sleep this stuff, and it's fun. And then I just wake up tomorrow like Groundhog's Day and go sell it.
So like when you get in contact with someone with like a college program or anything like that, like do they come to you like we have this idea, or do they even like try to bounce ideas off of you?
Well, personally, if you're a good sales rep, you want to be a part of it. I don't want to be an order taker by any means, and that's, hopefully that's why I'm good at what I do. There are some guys that just, they're white bread and bologna and mayonnaise and American cheese, and they go, well, I just want to do white with my decals, and we're not changing anything up. And you're appreciative of that because they're buying from you, and you go, okay, coach, that's real cool. But have you thought about green chrome? Or here's a let me roll back here. We're still working on these, but like this is anodized, so this is that satin finish. Like this is the one that Oregon wore last year, that color.
Very
Like, hey,
nice.
coach, what do you think about this? They go, no, I'm good. Or what about a cool, Hispanic culture is real big down here, like a Dias de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. Like, how about that? With let's do a cool skull decal with the flowers and the roses and stuff. No, we're okay. We're just, we just want our blue helmets with the white decal. You're like, golly. So a little bit of both, like with the Lamar one, you know, he came to us and said, hey, I want red chrome. Like they kind of have an idea. And then once you introduce them of, hey, we also do the decals too. We can do the design aspect of it. Some guys go, all right, let's partner up and let's do what's best and like let's make something cool happen. Or some go, hey, that I already know what I want. Don't try to do anything cool. We're just trying to get an alternative look. We're not doing anything crazy. Clean, like that, like Denton Geyer. That's a well-known brand. They have a Wildcat head. We didn't do anything crazy. We just had to make sure it looked good. They did a black mat with a silver matte decal, and they did a white gloss decal or a white gloss helmet. And they were like, "Well, we just want a black decal." And the creative aspect of it goes, "What if we did a black metallic decal with flake in it?" I don't know, send us one. And then you send it and they go, yep, that's it. Yep, we're good. Yep. Just that little extra oomph in it means so much. You can't see it from the stands, but the kids see it and the player, other players see and coaches see it. And you go, that's those little small touches of being a good sales rep and knowing your product in and out that you can, not even an upsell, it's just that little extra, chef's kiss
Yeah,
to go,
it's an improvement.
this is cool.
It's an enhancement.
Yeah,
Yep.
like the
Yeah.
Lamar ones, 3D bumpers. 3D bumpers are such a big elevator to a helmet. Like the flat ones are cool and whatnot, but the 3D bumpers where they're actually raised on the front and the back are impactful, and they look really good. I personally think they look the best, but they do kind of you're stuck there with them unless you want to change them out every week. University of Texas Permian Basin is another one that's worn skins in the last week or so. They did a custom orange color, and then we did the 3D logo on the front, and then he did their slogan on the back, and it's family with two L's, and they look awesome. Like it's just so fun. I mean, I can sit here and name schools back and forth all day.
I know, like I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, Bowling Green, get in touch and
Right?
bring
Yeah,
bring our old LT logo back on the helmet. And I know for Tony over here, a Miami alum, would love to see that Red Hawk back on the helmet.
yeah,
Yep.
on a red chrome, be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in like we've got so many colors and pictures that we can show people now. Like I mentioned Hutto hippos. Like Hutto, they're orange. They did an orange chrome last year, but that's another good favorite one of mine. So it's orange chrome, and then they have a really badass hippo logo, and of course it's in Texas, so it's a hippo coming out of the water with Texas in the background, right? But we did that, and then we looked up like hippo print pattern, like the Jordan pattern, pretty much is what we did, and then put that like ghost printed on it too, to really kind of get into it and show it. And those are great uniform colors too. I mean,
Yeah, that's really awesome. And like, I can only imagine how many Texas logos you've done because I noticed that like most Texas high schools love to have that state outline there. And
it's
because I
almost a
noticed,
requirement.
yeah, I've noticed like a lot of the college teams are starting to go that direction. I kind of like it.
State pride is a weird thing that I never really knew about until I got out of Texas, and then I kind of go, oh, like we do stick out like sore thumbs, like hee haw, we're from Texas, and whether you're doing it braggadociously or not, like people just go, you're not from here. I've been to Minnesota and Nashville, Tennessee, and New York, and all these places, and I mean, my draw's a little bit thicker too, but people just go, "You're different." Yeah, I'm from Texas. But yeah, and there, the Louisiana has a good one. You're starting to see it a lot more in Louisiana, and I think that there's a lot to do with that state pride and community pride and things like that. And we're starting to, there are states that are starting to become more invested in football. I know people think that it's going away. I think quite the opposite. I think it's just growing differently because the team aspect and the pride aspect and the small town Friday nights thing is something that you cannot create anywhere else throughout your life. And it's so important to have that as a community, as a country, as just local. I mean, we could do this forever. Like I go back to my hometown and there's still people that they're still working the same gas station. The coffee's still hot and black at 5 in the morning. The old men sit out there and talk, but they all played high school football. I played high school football, and it's just one of those things that's beautiful and it keeps building up and it's going to keep growing. So I think
Yeah.
I got two little kids. So, hey,
Oh, look at that. We got some extra guests.
yep. Hey, say hi. Yep.
Hi.
This is my daughter, Marky. So, all right. Back out, sis. Thank you. Yeah, go tell mommy. Thought I had the door lock. I was wrong, but that's okay. So,
No
but
worries, it happens.
But yeah, no, I mean football is fun. Football's passion. It's everywhere. It dominates the TVs, and then I think that's just going to trickle back down. That kids want to play football. Flag football's gotten huge, and flag football leads to playing tackle football, and it's fun. I mean, I grew up with. I mean, I don't know if y'all have ever watched Varsity Blues, but kind of in that type of energy of Friday Night Lights. But we lost every game. But it's still the same of like, all right, the cops know who you are and where you're going at that night. Like, be careful, be safe. Like, I wasn't here or anything like that. So, yeah, this is a great product. It's a great atmosphere, what we're doing. We're trying to do it the right way. We're trying to take care of kids, take care of people, provide a spark to programs that have never been able to even think about getting a second or third look due to finances. And now there is an option. Now there's an option to do it. And we're going to figure out any way to help out. I tell, I've got programs that go, well, I don't know if I can afford it. I go, well, tell me what you think can't afford is. How many kids do you suit up? Well, you got 35 kids. Okay, I'll go down a little bit to help you out, coach. Like that's what it matters to us at GameDay Skins is how can we provide that to smaller towns and people. I know small schools that have 20 something kids that have two sets, you know and the kids get excited for it, and the parents get excited for it. It's decals with dads, helmets with heroes, and the community gets behind it. And they're like, "Oh, when are we going all white? When are we doing all black? When are we doing this or that?" And it's really fun. And I appreciate you guys letting me get on here and kind of preach the gospel here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun to kind of get that insight into the world of helmets when it comes to both college football and high school football. Like, there's a lot of insight here that we didn't know before, and really just like how this innovation is just going to help evolve what we see moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. You sooner or later you're going to see it. It'll be game day. Game day is going to have one on, or SVP is going to be breaking one out. I do think that there might be a school that Gruden's going to do an unboxing for sooner or later. I know that he has it. We just have to wait till he decides to quit doing what he's doing everything else around the world. I know he's doing the Gruden World Tour, and he's awesome, man. It's just great, man. So, yes, fellas, I appreciate it. Whatever we can do to help out, man. And once we get done, let's text and see if I can figure out how to get y'all some and maybe get you some cool decals to go along with it.
Hey, that sounds great.
Hey, oh yeah, we're definitely. Right now I got a pretty small background, but I'm moving to a bigger space soon enough. Would love to have them back there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, where can the people find you?
All right, so my Twitter is at or X, the everything app, at GDS Chaz, GDSCHAZ. I believe our Instagram profile, which is where you can see some high quality pictures and stuff, is at GameDay Skinz, I believe. And then we've got a website. The website is kind of, man, you can log in there and request to get to a rep, but we have local representation everywhere. Texas, Arizona, Colorado, California, Seattle, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. We've got a guy over there that just kills that area in that southeast corridor. Upper New York, Carolinas. I mean, we're growing constantly every day. We're looking to vamp that up to maybe having 20 more reps by the end of 2026. Reach out to the website, reach out to Twitter, try to get hold of somebody somehow. I would bet that there's probably a school nearby you that has a set. You just don't know it because you haven't paid attention. Look a little bit deeper onto the details of it and then talk to that coach and they'll go, oh, yeah, so and so got, yeah, we did this. Reach out to him. So we'll rock and roll, man. Whatever we can do to help anybody out. And I can't emphasize this enough, guys. We're still moving product right now. Like we can still have the impact on your guys for a senior night or a playoff game or something right now where you're looking for that extra bit of juice, that extra bit of fire for that game. We can still make it happen and make you look good too at a good price.
Look good, play good.
Yep.
Come
That's
on.
a great plug for me. I'm ready to throw a helmet on and
Skins and wins, baby.
Yep.
Skins and wins. It's too easy.
Very awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to join us. It was great having you on the show and really great to learn about what GameDay Skinz has to offer.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much, and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah,
sounds
absolutely.
great, Chaz.
All right, we are going to move on to our next segment of the show here, which we finally get to do on air again. We've just been sending them out the last couple of weeks, but finally this week, we are back to our picks for the week. We are going to be breaking down 11 different games, one that features a team from each FBS conference, and then one FCS game. We start with the American, a huge showdown. The American, the North Texas Mean Green, 3-0 and on a roll. They travel up to West Point to take on the Army Black Knights. Army in a triple option offense. Remember last year when these two teams played, Army had the drive of the season. That was literally the most beautiful drive of all time. I think it lasts like 22 plays in 11 minutes. Tony, who do you see winning this game?
You know what? I'm going with Army on this one.
Hey, I love it. This is a hard one for me to pick because North Texas is on a roll, and I really like what that team has to offer. Like, this North Texas team is different. Like, they opened the season with a shutout win. That was their first shutout in a long time. Then came back from a 17-7 halftime deficit to win, and then blasted Washington State last week. I think that blowout may give them a little bit of relief syndrome. And I think going up to Army is going to be a really difficult matchup. Give me the Black Knights as well.
You know what? I think it's at home, and by the numbers, North Texas blows them out of the water. We were talking about this before the show, but I think with it being at home and how teams struggle to play against military schools, I think they're going to bag this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight game. Definitely going to be a lot of fun to watch. Then we go to the ACC. We've been talking a lot of Texas football tonight. We have a classic Texas rivalry that is unfortunately about to come to an end. The battle for the Iron Skillet. SMU travels to take on TCU. It is a huge shame that this is the last time these teams are playing for the foreseeable future. They need to get this game back on the calendar ASAP. But that game's at noon. Make sure you catch it. Obviously, TCU undefeated so far. SMU lost to Baylor. Tony, who do you have winning this one?
I got TCU. I think SMU, through this week has been pretty solid, but a home game for TCU, I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah, this is what I don't like about not having a huge sample size of TCU, because I feel like I feel like we're prone to overreact a little bit, and they looked so physical up front. Like, we know they have the quarterback. Josh Hubert's really good. We know they have receivers, but what really impressed me against North Carolina was how they pushed them around up front and ran the ball well, something they couldn't do last year. On defense, they were physical, flying around. I really like what this TCU team has to offer. SMU, on the other hand, has kind of looked a little wonky. They kind of set themselves back with penalties a little too often. They kind of look a little questionable on both sides of the ball. I got the Horned Frogs winning this one. Then we go to the Big 12. This one is going to be a lot of fun. Very weird game because it's a 10 a.m. local, so Utah fans get to tailgate at 6 a.m. I've had that experience before. Texas Tech at Utah. This is a critical game in the Big 12. Like, the winner of this game is the Big 12 favorite the rest of the way. Who do you have winning this one?
This one is really, really close. And I went back and forth for longer than I'd like to admit. I think, and I hate doing it this way, but the home field advantage matters in college ball. It matters in a lot of sports, but that can be the deciding factor. I'm going with the Utah.
Yeah, I was so torn on this game. I really went back and forth, and and really that kind of leads me to that home field advantage again. The one thing that has really held Texas Tech back is winning on the road, and in particular, we've seen the last 2 years their first road game in an unfamiliar environment they lost. 2 years ago, opened the season at Wyoming. Wyoming ends up pulling the upset there over the Red Raiders. Last year, they go to Washington State. They get housed. Now this year, they're not used to playing Utah and dealing with the Musts. That is their student section. I think, again, we end up seeing Utah pull off the upset as a result. Then we have a banger in the Big Ten. And this game really should have had College Game Day in town. It's a joke where College Game Day went instead, but we can spend forever hashing that one out. Indiana versus Illinois. This game is huge for both teams, and it is really incredible to see both programs playing at such a high level right now. Who do you have winning this one, Tony?
Man, by the numbers, by how they've performed, Illinois on paper looks like they should go in and win. But I'm going with Indiana here. I'm going with Indiana, maybe having a little bit of an upset here.
Ooh, I like it. But I will say Vegas does not think that's an upset. Vegas does have Indiana favored in this game.
Do they?
Yeah, which is very interesting because obviously Illinois is pretty high, a lot higher rated. But I think we've been seeing the Indiana war machine kind of ramp into form here. I think a lot of people kind of looked at their opener against Old Dominion and thought they kind of struggled. Turns out Old Dominion's actually really, really good. And ever since then, they've been the war machine. They have destroyed the teams in their path. Obviously, none of them are the caliber that Illinois is, but I think Indiana at home, I just end up liking the Hoosiers just a little bit more here. But I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the wire. But give me the Hoosiers in this one.
I think you're right, and I just confirmed you are correct. 5.5 point favorites. So
yeah. So that's the other thing. It's been climbing throughout the week too. It opened at 3.5.
I don't know. Then that
a lot of people like the Hoosiers.
We could. I could find myself falling down the leaderboard here. With the Indiana pick, but that's what my gut's saying.
Yeah, and I'll go over the leaderboard here once we go through the picks. Definitely interesting shakeup there, but. Conference USA, we look at Louisiana Tech, the team that we talked about on this show earlier with their helmets. Louisiana Tech at Southern Miss. Two rivals reunited. They're about to be reunited permanently when Louisiana Tech moves to the Sun Belt. But for now, both teams really off to a pretty good start. Louisiana Tech is 2-1. Their only loss was a closer than expected loss to LSU. Southern Miss lost to Mississippi State in their opener, but they've been looking really good. They beat Appalachian State last week. So really, both teams these are two proud programs, so we're seeing them play at a higher level than we have in some time. This game's going to be a lot of fun. Who do you have winning it?
Southern Miss.
Hey, rolling with the Golden Eagles.
Rolling with the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, I find myself in the same boat here. I end up going Southern Miss to this one.
We're going against Vegas now. Vegas has it at 3.5 for Louisiana Tech.
Vegas has Louisiana Tech favored. Ooh.
Yep. So we're going against the grain here, but You
Oh,
know,
I don't like that.
it's the
We got.
intangibles.
I'm looking at the board here. Most of us have Southern Miss, so that'll be interesting. Um, yeah, wow, that's surprising. That is, if Louisiana Tech's favored on the road, there's something. There's something they're seeing there. But that's gonna be whoever wins this one's 3-1. Definitely looking at a return to a bowl and maybe even a contender for their conference. So that'll be a very interesting game. We go to Maction, which is where we are going this weekend. We will, both of us will be in attendance as the Miami Redhawks host UNLV, the first ever matchup between these two programs, and really just a rare intersectional game that you don't see very often. Miami needs to get a win on the board. They're 0-2, but lost to two Big Ten teams. UNLV, on the other hand, they're currently 3-0 and rolling, but this is a tricky road trip to old Ox Vegas.
It is. You know, you look at the numbers. You look at UNLV. You look at Miami. Miami's been, it's kind of been an onslaught through the first couple games of the season, you know, but they are playing higher caliber talent. You know, they're playing the Big Ten. So some of that's to be expected. And for that reason, they're going to take the home game and they're going to ride out to Red Hawk victory.
Hey, I love it. I love it. You had it ready. Well, you know what? We are going to get to visit an athlete that is on UNLV. So, I gotta go with the Rebels in this one to keep their undefeated season going. I'm going with the Rebels to go to 4-0, but I do think Miami can keep it closer than the experts think.
I think it's, and you know, Jaeger's not known for its atmosphere, I don't think.
You got a little student section. They're playing the what are those things called? They're at the soccer games too. The Veluzas or whatever they're called.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
I don't know. They're like the little horns, and they do them throughout the game, like even when the play is going on. So you got that for a little bit of atmosphere.
Got to keep them on their toes.
I think it's gonna be decently packed. I think. So yeah, that'll be a fun one to watch. Definitely, we are excited to be there. Early kickoff for UNLV. You never know what can happen. We move to the Mountain West. Colorado State versus UTSA. This one definitely is two teams that have kind of been all over the map a little bit. Colorado State looked great in their opener. They pushed Washington till about the third quarter, so like they gave Washington a tough time, and then they followed it up by needing an absolute miracle, and definition of miracle really depends on which fan base you ask here, like to beat Northern Colorado. So they looked good and then shaky at the same time, and now you may even have a quarterback controversy. They take on UTSA, a team that has an electric offense and is really struggling on defense. Who do you think takes this one?
You know, I went with UTSA on this one. I think with how they're playing, with kind of the offensive prowess that they have compared to Colorado State, I see them taking the win here. You know, they're favored for sure by 4.5, but it will be at Colorado State. So, you know, that's always an environment that you need to look out for. But, you know, just looking at how even the quarterbacks have performed, you know, McCown is 583 yards passing, and Fowler Nicolosi has, you know, 312, you know, 1 touchdown versus 6. So, you know, I think just how their offense is set up, I think UTSA wins.
And UTSA's running back, Robert Henry Jr., is an absolute dog. That being said, I'm going with the Rams in the upset here. I'm looking at this game, and I'm thinking, you know, UTSA is coming off of 3 consecutive games, really regional within the state. They open with Texas A&M. Then they play their rival Texas State in the Battle of I-35. Then they play Incarnate Word from the same city, which actually, after driving through it, you know, a few months back, I realized that Incarnate Word's actually closer to the Alamo Dome in location than UTSA is. But you have all 3 of those, and then you're about to enter conference play. I've had this one identified since the offseason as a potential trap game for the Roadrunners, especially with Colorado State coming off a bye. I'm going with the Rams in this one.
You raised some good points, sir. You raised some good points.
Then we go to the Apple Cup. Washington State hosting Washington. Washington State won this game last year. But, head coaching switch and kind of a roster reset a little bit. It may not be as easy for them this year. Washington's looking pretty good so far. Who do you have winning this one?
No surprise here. It's the Huskies. I think they win this pretty easily, but I mean that's why we watch college ball. You never know. The line is 20.5. So that's no small sum, We're not talking about a touchdown here. That's almost 3 scores, so that's
Absolutely. And my dog's barking in the background telling me to roll with the dogs, so
she
gotta
agrees.
go Washington on this one. Then in the SEC, we have Arkansas traveling to take on Memphis. Now, fun fact for you is that Memphis is closer in location to Arkansas compared to all but one SEC team. So there's only one team in the SEC that's closer in distance to Arkansas than where Memphis is. That team is Oklahoma, who Arkansas has yet to even play in conference play. So Arkansas generally is on an island here, and so it's very rare that you get to see a regional game like this for them. Huge opportunity for Memphis here, hosting the Razorbacks. Arkansas had, quite honestly, the most Arkansas chain of events to end last week. I saw someone tweeting about the game. They were like, Arkansas's in the red zone with a chance to win it. 2 seconds later, Arkansas fumbles. Memphis, on the other hand, if they can win this one, they're another team that we have to talk about for the playoff. Who do you have winning this one?
I'm gonna be a Razorback for this one. I think with them being close with Ole Miss, they're a favorite. They are traveling, so that'll be a factor. But I just think looking at the difference in their offensive. Just the offensive numbers, I'm kind of thinking Arkansas wins this one.
Ooh. The big thing for me, Memphis has been starting out the year playing at a higher level of defense than they have in a long time. This is your test to find out, how for real is this? And that'll be kind of interesting to see. That being said, I'm looking at the board here, and I see most of the Updog crew has Arkansas in this one. Matt has Arkansas as well. So I need to go against the grain of us here, and I'm going to go with Memphis on this one.
That's okay, dog. Just keep working down the leaderboard for me.
Hey, we'll see. Maybe they get me back. Come on, Memphis. Get it done for me.
Well, there's two. There's 2 games that we differ on, so that could be your leg up.
Yeah. Or down in the case of what last week was. But we go to the Sun Belt. The UL Monroe Warhawks go to take on UTEP. These are 2 programs that are really just trying to hit that breakthrough year and reach a bowl game. Whoever wins this one can start to feel pretty good about their hopes here. This is at the Sun Bowl. Who do you have winning this one?
I have UTEP.
Very nice. Going with the Miners on that one.
The Miners, indeed.
And really, you're going to see a lot of good defense this one. Both teams are playing defense at a high level. UTEP frustrated Arch Manning last week. They gave him a rough go of it.
Their linebacker has 31 tackles.
Dude, the monster. He's
31.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be a really grinded out battle. But ultimately, UTEP in the Sun Bowl, I've got to go with the Miners on this one as well. And then we wrap it up with the FCS. New Hampshire at Dartmouth. A great in-state battle here. CAA versus Ivy League. The Ivy League kicks off this week, and of course, no better way to celebrate it than pick one of their games. Tony, who do you have winning this one?
With Dartmouth, this being their first game, and I'm going to burn my intern card on this one. Didn't know that. Thought they all started at the same time. I think, well, on the other hand, you start later, you get tape. You got tape on how the team's performing. You have more time to prepare. I'm still going to go with New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. I like it. I'm going to go the opposite of you, though. I'm going with Dartmouth. The Big Green, get it done. At home. So that is our picks. Currently our standings. And last week really shook this up because I was in front, and then I kind of tanked a little bit. I had a 3-8 record last week, so I have had the best record in a week and the worst record in a week of this group of people. But the intern knows ball. He currently leads with a 23-10 record right now. Just an impressive start. So I'll let you soak in that for a moment there. We have...
I love it. I don't know how long it'll last, so I'll wear the crown until I have to give it up.
See, I gotta let you get your shine a little bit because, it won't last, but...
Yeah, and if I start losing real bad, y'all be reading my picks. Because I'm a sore loser.
Well, trailing behind you by 2 games, we have Bobby of the TNT podcast. He is currently 21-12. And then third place, which is really the entire mid-pack, is where I managed to fall after my disaster of a week last week. And I'm tied with Matt and Omar, who are also 19-14. So we're 4 games back right now. We got a little bit of a comeback to do here, but really trying to make our way back. And then CFB Home currently makes up the end of the pack here. He actually was first place at the week 1, and last week also did not go well for him, like it did not go well for me. So, CFB Home, I'm with you on this one. We need to make our way back up this week. This needs to be the week we make our way back.
It's not going to be this week.
Yes, it is. Just watch. We're going to be there. I'm going to watch in person as I get 1 game back on you.
I mean, we will certainly see. We will certainly see. Those are the stakes that I like.
Versus Las Vegas. It's on. Well, okay. Let's give the people a little bit of discourse here. Do you have information you can provide on the Ox Vegas situation?
You know what? Oh, man. How did it get named that? I know I've called it Ox Vegas. No clue why. This is the first time they're playing together, right? This is the first time they've ever played in a match. So that's historic. That'll be something to see. We also called it the Ox Box.
Oh, yeah. The bar scene on Brick Street has something to offer, and we'll see what people from Las Vegas have to say about it.
Little old Oxford, Ohio. Not a lot of lights.
I think it was very funny when Barstool Miami did that, because then everyone else that isn't anywhere near it were like, what is this? What are you even... What do you mean Ox Vegas? What does that even mean? Oh, that was so great.
Let's see. I'm trying to look it up quick. It's not quick enough. There's a restaurant called Ox Vegas Chicken.
Yeah, right off of Brick Street. Started by Miami students, actually. Because they're probably like, hey, there's a lot of drunk people on Brick Street. They've had a few adult beverages. Often people like more after having adult beverages and some chicken.
Student run.
But anyways, that is the show. Thank you for joining us for a lot of very cool and fun discussions. You can, of course, find us on Twitter. Some people call it X. I'm always going to call it Twitter. That is what it is. And, Instagram, Facebook for the Boomer Market. And really all of those other social media platforms we are on. You can also find us here on YouTube as well as anywhere else you get your podcasts. So thank you for joining us. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Every single like and subscribe that you give us helps us to continue to provide content that every single fan can enjoy. We got this thing started because we We were tired about how the larger media networks are covering the sports, so we're doing it ourselves. Have a good one, everyone.